What's up, guys? It's your boy rayharperintl one more time, and this is Panama first impression. This is my first impression. This is the first things I noticed since I got here, and I just want to make sure that you guys are as well informed as possible with all the tools and all the information that you may need on your way to Panama. You know, either if you're traveling now or you're traveling in the future. It's super important that you know some of these things, yeah? So the first thing, when you're traveling from the US, for example, me, I came in from Miami, right? And I brought a lot of luggage because I'm gonna be staying here a long time. They charged me overweight though. The overweight was $100 per luggage, $100 per suitcases. So I was traveling, what's the name of this airline? The Panamanian airline. They actually own Panama basically because like 90% of the flights out of Panama are with this same airline, Copa Airlines. So Copa Airlines charged me $100 per suitcase. Thanks God I only have one overweight, so I had to pay $100, right? So I checked in, everything was fine, everything was good. Now, when I landed in Panama, this is the requirements. These are the things that you need to do. You don't need to do anything online. You don't need to fill out any type of documentation online like you do to some other countries like Colombia or Dominican Republic. Here, you actually have to fill out the paperwork in the plane. And it's basically the same thing like we used to do in the past with every other country. In Panama, you still have to do it like that, yeah? So the first thing you need to do and have with you, just in case they ask you, is that you have to have $1,000 with you cash, or a proof that you have $1,000 with you. They need to make sure that you're going to be able to sustain yourself while you are in the country of Panama. So just make sure that you bring the cash with you, or at least you have a way to prove it. I mean, when I came, I had the cash with me. In my case, they didn't ask me. The guy asked a whole bunch of questions. But once I told him I was a YouTuber, he started asking me more questions about my channel than the actual questions they should be asking. They also want to make sure that your passport has not expired within the last 6 months. So make sure your passport is current and it's being, that you actually have it up to date. Then when it comes to Americans, you are able to stay in the country for 6 months without a visa. So you're good when it comes to that. So you don't need to get a visa. They give you permission to stay in the country for 6 months. After those 6 months, you can exit the country and come right back and get another 6 months. So it's really cool. Panama and the US have very good relationships. So, I mean, you will not have any problems. You also have to prove an address. You have to have a proof of address. So they're probably going to ask you for like your Airbnb, your hotel, if you're staying with a friend, whatever it is. You just got to make sure that you have an address with you when you land, because they're going to ask you. They actually put in your address as the information in the system. So just make sure you have those 4 things. Let me repeat them again so that we're on the same page. $1,000, proof of $1,000 that you have. You have to make sure your passport is up to date when it comes to the date, within like at least 6 months of expiry. 6 months visa, you can stay for 6 months, and if you like to stay longer, you can just exit and come back. And when it comes to address, you need to make sure you supply an address when they ask you. You need to make sure that you give them the address of wherever you're staying, so they could put that in the system. Now, once you pass customs and they do the passport control and everything, when it comes to the suitcases, if you have multiple suitcases, you want to get someone to get them for you and carry them for you. The person that got my suitcases, I paid him like, I think it was $30 or $40, I can't remember right now, but something around those lines. And then one good point is, in the airport you get free Wi-Fi for an hour. I think it's 30 minutes to an hour, something like that, but you get free Wi-Fi. Make sure that you wait to use it till you get your suitcases or your luggages or whatever it is, so that you're able to use it to get an Uber, or if you're calling a friend or somebody's picking you up. That's a good way for you to actually use your 30 minutes or 1 hour of free Wi-Fi. That's the best bet, because then you can make those, emergency calls or whatever you need to do with that time. Don't use it before you pass customs, because then you never know how long you're going to stay in customs. They might pull you back, they might not, whatever it is. Or your suitcases could stay longer coming out. It could be anything. So wait until you have your suitcase, and then you go and make the phone call or reach out for an Uber or InDrive, whatever is easier for you, whatever you rather have. Now, when it comes to cost of living, right? Panama is different than the other countries in Central America. Even though it is in Central America, it has a very stable government, it has a very stable economy, so Panama is not doing bad. So for me, and I could only speak to myself and my experiences, I think some of the things, and I spoke about this on the live, right? If you haven't seen my live, I'm gonna put it in the description. I'm gonna link it there so you guys can check it out. But some of the things that I discussed on my live about cost of living is that I think Ubers are super cheap. You could get an Uber for like a half an hour ride for like $5. The maximum I have spent here in Uber is $7, and it was like 40 minutes away. So Ubers are super, super cheap. When it comes to apartments, if you're actually renting apartments, they're way cheaper than the US. Way cheaper. So if you're renting, it's cheap. Airbnb is also okay, not as cheap as other countries in Central America, but it's also fairly cheap. But if you're actually going to stay here a long time, I will suggest that you rent, because you will get something amazing for half of what you're paying in the US, right? Then when it comes to food, to me, if you're not staying here super long, if you're not renting, I will not buy groceries. I will actually go to restaurants, because it's probably going to be cheaper to go to restaurants every day than buying groceries and cooking at home. First, you're going to have to, the groceries are rather expensive here if you're going to buy the same stuff that you want to get in the US. And the grocery stores or supermarkets that sell the local stuff are like in sometimes not the best neighborhoods, or you will have to know where to go and how to get there and stuff like that. So I would suggest that you just get restaurants, or you could get like Uber Eats and stuff like that. Here the most popular one is called Pedidos Ya. No, in different countries they have different names, but you could ask anybody. Like if you're staying in an Airbnb, you could ask the Airbnb manager, or if you're staying in a hotel, you could ask in the front desk, and that could give you information in how to access those services. Yeah, but then again, food is relatively cheap. Rent is way cheaper than the US. Transportation, way cheaper. When it comes to groceries, I think that's where it's a little elevated. When it comes to like drinks, it's a little bit elevated. Like I could tell you that they were charging me in the tourist places about $14 for a mixed drink, which I think is going head to head there with the US. Maybe not New York, Miami, or LA, but the other cities, you're probably going to pay around the same thing. But when you come to the Central America countries, for example, Nicaragua, you could get a mixed drink for like $6 or $5. Guatemala, the same thing. Costa Rica, about the same thing. And Salvador, about the same thing too. So Panama, when it comes to like drinks and like alcohol beverages, it's going to be a little bit more, right? Right now, guys, so that you know, I'm in my apartment, my Airbnb, amazing view. I'm super comfortable here, so again, like I was saying, you can find something super, super nice and at a very, very good price. All right, guys, so when it comes into where to stay and safety, right? So right now I'm staying in San Francisco. San Francisco neighborhood is pretty safe. I have the Multiplaza Mall right next to me. I'm within walking distance. I have like an area where there's a lot of businesses and big buildings, and you can have a view right now of what I see every night from my apartment, from my balcony. This is where I sit down at night and enjoy, a beautiful night. I mean, you could also stay in Avenida Balboa. Avenida Balboa is right by the coast, so you get to see, if you get an apartment that you could get, to see the view of the ocean. Some people get to see the view of the Panama Canal as well, so that's also a really good look. Also, there's another neighborhood called Punta Pacifica, which is also has views of the ocean. I'd rather have a view of the city. I'm a guy that likes the lights, man. I was raised in New York, so this is what I'm into. Like the ocean, I don't really mind. Like if I want to go to the ocean, I just take a trip to the beach or whatever. Plus, I just came from being in Miami for a really long time, and I'm fine. Now I just want to see buildings, skyscrapers, and things like that. But again, Punta Pacifica is a really good neighborhood. San Francisco is a really good neighborhood. This is where I'm at right now. As well as Obarrio is another good neighborhood. Avenida Balboa is a good one or two. Miramar is another one too. So if you're actually looking for somewhere to stay, those are some of the neighborhoods that you could, if you see, you should be able to, either get an Airbnb there or rent. And if you want more details in that, we definitely reach out to me at rayharperintl. And guys, if it's gonna be a couple of questions, I don't mind. But if you're gonna have a whole questionnaire of a whole bunch of questions, man, we could set up something together. We could do something simple, or we could do a consultation. I'm not really trying to do many consultations, but if you really need it, then we could set up a consultation, or catch me on a live, and then you could ask more questions. But some people believe they want to ask like 20 questions. Like, I don't have time to be typing all these things. Like, really, like my time costs money. Like when I'm not doing videos, I'm working. When I'm not, because I have to, a lot of people depends on me. I depend on myself. I have to pay bills. So if you're going to take my time, you need to recuperate that time. It needs to be a return of investment, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't mind responding to a few questions. I don't mind that. But if you're going to have a whole bunch of questions, then you're going to have to kind of pay for it. I'm trying to be as nice as possible. Like, I don't mind asking a few questions. I'm just not going to spend 20, 30 minutes texting back and forth when I need to make my money. I need to work and make my money. I got people that depend on me. So bringing it right back, and I wanted to answer that because, I want to make sure people understand that, man. The same way that you guys work, I work. So this is my hobby. This is something that I do. I don't depend on YouTube to survive. I actually have to work. So if you're going to take my time from working, then we need to make sure that, I'm being compensated for it. Besides that, I think the next thing is Nightlife. And Nightlife is really cool, man. They have everything that you might like here. If you want to go do reggaeton, hip hop, you could go do techno, you could go do rock, you could be doing concerts. They have concerts all the time. They got festivals. They got everything you want. If you live here, or if you stay here a long time and then after a couple of weeks you want to go to the beach, you could get on a flight for an hour and you could be in Boca del Toros. Or you could take the bus to Boca del Toro, which is like 10 hours, and it's only like a third of what you pay for a flight. So you got different things to do. You got a lot of adventures. You got city, you got beach, you got the mountains as well. You could go to Boquete and have a beautiful, Boquete is a beautiful city. There's a lot of expats that live there. There's so much you could do here in Panama. So you name it, you could get it here. Also, keep in mind, you're in Central America. This is a hub. You could go from here to any other country in Central America, like within hours, like 1 or 2 hours, you're in another country. So if you're the type of guy that likes to go to Colombia, you could stop here for a couple of weeks and then go to Colombia. Also, Copa Airlines got this new service, that they permit you to stay here for a couple of days as a connecting flight. So you could connect here and stay a couple of days and then go to your destination, which is super cool. I don't have all the details. Google it, investigate it, and stuff like that. Or if you want me to do it for you, again, we could reach out and we could do something like that. But I know Copa Airlines got a service like that. Nightlife is super cool. I'm gonna link my Nightlife video of Panama, the first one. I'm gonna do multiple set of Nightlife videos, so be on the lookout for that if that's what you're interested in. But I already put one video out of Nightlife, so I'm gonna link it so you can see in detail what I'm talking about when I talk about Panama's nightlife. And there's a lot more to see, because that was only one night, and I went to like 3-4 clubs in one night, and it was bananas. I met a whole bunch of people. Just from that night alone, I have friends that we've been going out like consistently, like out to dinner, how to like a concert. We went to a festival. We went out. Where else did we went? We went to this group that they have here of expats that live in the city, and that was like the best time ever. There's so much things that you could do here in Panama. So again, do not forget to subscribe, man. Make sure that you like the video, smash that bell so you get also notification every time a new video come out. Stay with your boy, man. Anything you like, reach out. I got you. Again, don't be sending me like 200,000 questions, man. Just one person. I can answer one or two, but keep in mind, man, I have to survive. I'm working too. So I mean, haters, you take it however you will. But a person that works, they got doing business that into, you know, health, and is into, you know, living a better life, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about. So talk to you guys in the next one. It's your boy Ray Harper. I hope you got as much value as possible from this content. Again, if you need more, reach out to me, rayharperintl, rayharperintl on IG, rayharperintl on TikTok, rayharperintl here on YouTube. Talk to you guys on the next one.
Dorian, let's get it poppin'. Busca el chivo, los robos, que basta el comparón para matarlo como es. Dile querido que lo que vamos a hacer, comandante Rosario.
Este party está encendido, todo el mundo con los ojos prendidos.